Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to another somewhat productive study with me session. I only really did about like an hour of focus work today, but we legit had like 5 or 6 hours of lectures, which had me absolutely slumped. So as soon as I got back, I did what any serious candidate would do and fell asleep for literally like 5 hours. Yeah, not great. But as soon as I got up, I had the option of going straight back to bed, which I was really tempted to do, but I decided to do a bit of work because at the end of the day, some work is always better than none. So to begin with, I watched the lecture that I missed because, you know, I'm useless and I don't go to lectures, while simultaneously converting the lecture slides into flashcards. I really struggled last semester with learning content from lectures, so I've resolved to do what I know best, and that is to try and memorize as much as I can and pray to God for the best. Sick. This lecture was on red blood cells production and survival. We had a series of lectures on this in semester 1, so there was basically just building upon it and going into even more detail, which I honestly didn't even know was possible. It's somewhat crazy just how much you're expected to know. The main takeaway was the concept of hemolytic anemia. I haven't gone through the flashcards recently, but I think it's essentially to do with the destruction of red blood cells, which can be caused by autoimmune diseases or infections, as well as some other processes that I don't know, but I should probably know by now. We then looked at the red cell membrane and potential potential defects such as hereditary elliptocytosis before I started making notes on globin disorders, notably sickle cell diseases. I'm sure those of you doing A-levels will be able to tell me the type of mutations that cause this disease, and if not, stick around to the end of the video and I'll tell you the answer. Next up was clinical skills. Clinical skills, or clin skills, is kind of the practical aspect of the course where we learn the different types of examinations that are frequently done on the wards. So in this session I was focusing on the examination of the lungs. The first examination was to check for a collapsed lung, so basically use 3 of your fingers to check the position of the trachea to make sure that it's central. If it's not central, what will happen is the trachea will move away from the collapsed lung, so it will be positioned more to the side of the working lung. I then made some notes on percussion of the lungs. This can check for a number of different issues. Essentially, when you tap on the intercostal spaces, you should expect to hear a certain type of resonance due to the air within the lungs. If the sound is dull though, that might indicate fluid and thus pleural effusion, which you know isn't good. If there's too much resonance though, that could indicate too much air being present in the thoracic cavity, which could be a sign of pneumothorax, which again isn't great. And to finish up, I did some work on auscultating the lungs, which is basically just using a stethoscope to listen to the lungs. Really boring, but you do want to make sure that there's no wheezing sounds because that could indicate some respiratory diseases, which again is a no-go. And then to finish up, I did some prep work for my anatomy session coming up on Monday. They give us a book outlining what will be discussed in the session and in each station, so I prepped beforehand because I found that if I don't, I just can't keep up with what's going on. Also, some of the teachers, or whatever they're called, like to go around and ask questions in like a circle, so I prepped that so if I get asked a question, I don't get it wrong, because one time I got a question wrong and the guy looked at me as though to say, I hate to break it to you bud, but I don't think this course is for you. And so I went home and cried myself to sleep that night. And on that jolly note, that is the end of the video. I hope this motivated you to go and do some work. I always find that watching someone else study motivates me, so hopefully this will have the same kind of effect. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, and by the way, the answer was point mutation, so yeah.